everyone, and a very warm welcome to another mixed media tutorial with me, Lisa Taggart. This week we're going to use the new jar stencils, and we're going to look how to create a scene within a scene using the new stencils. So I'm calling this one Glow. I had a session with my ink sprays and I was left with a quite ethereal background and one where I could play about with the light. So if you're interested in how this was created, let's look at the materials. To begin, we're using Multifarious smooth card. We're also using number 9 of our set of stencils, and that's the mason jar we're using this week. Also a little bit of this masking sheet to cover up a few of the bits of stamping you'll see coming up. These I was trying to remember from memory are the sprays, but it's actually chipped sapphire, seedless preserves, peeled paint and salvage patina, squeezed lemonade and picket fence, and those are the ones I ended up using. We've got Golden Meadow and Shady Lane for versifying, and a couple of others in Medieval Blue and Very Perry as well. Using these elements in Mulberry and Merlot purely for the colours, but use what you have. Tumble grass as well for a little bit of pale light, and some pan pastels in titanium white, phthalo green tint and Hansa yellow. Again, these are optional. You can use pencils or your chalk. Pastel sticks, I've got a couple there in pink and white. Also pastel pencils in yellows, whites, the mint, a brown, a red and a green. But use what your picture suits and whatever you fancy. To complement that, we've got Posca pens in pale pink, turquoise and dark red. We've got yellow and white in the gel pens and the Stabilo All Black pencil, along with an ordinary pencil. I've got the medium and a couple of the small stencils. We've got the applicator for the pan pastels, a brush for the elements and a water brush as well. Oh, and not forgetting the diamond stickles at the end. But again, use what you have. It's a lot of stuff. It's just how I work. Now, lavinia stamps, we're starting off with moss cap cluster, elfin cap cluster, elfin caps, elm tree, moss caps, Nia, a bird from the bird collection, wild leaf corner, tree root, flutterbys and silver leaves in mini. Quite a lot this week. If you want to convert all of these into something that looks a little bit like this, just keep on watching. Now you might be thinking, I think I've seen this footage before, and you'd be right. This was actually a little ink spray session we had for a previous project, and I think that project was called Grace. And this square of card was what ended up being that project. And actually the piece of card that I'm going to place on top created today's project. So I've got the ink sprays, mixing them all up, trying to create some light on one side. This is the ink sandwich, which is a great way of mixing the ink, and you never know what you're going to get, and that's the excitement of it. So that's the one we'll use today. That's the one that ended up being for the other project. Dry them off. That's what it looks like when it's dried off, and I turned it upside down. I thought it looked really interesting that way. 7.5 by 8 inches, and we're going to mask out the jar and see what develops. Now at this stage the project looks fine, the jar looks lovely just as it is, and you don't have to carry on trying to make the glass more realistic. I'm using the mask sticky side up because what I don't want is for the residue of the glue on the mask to interfere with the pastel work, so it's a bit difficult putting my fingers on the sticky bit, but got there in the end. And I'm really starting the process now of trying to create the glow and the glass of the jar, the container. And as I say, you don't have to do this part. You can keep it as it was at the first stage, and it still looks really nice. I was in two minds as to what to do, but of course I always have to fiddle about. So I finished the colouring on the toadstools, and I also thought I'd add these trees in the background. Just felt it needed something else in those spaces, and I masked off the other elements of the stamping to just put those very palely in the background. And now we're going to create the orbs. So that just about wraps it up for this week, apart from the obligatory diamond stickles on the fairy wings and in or around the orbs, etc. And you can see how that twinkles and just adds the final touches, particularly on the fairy and around the top of the bottle, etc. Brings it all to life. Then I do enjoy adding these little extra details, and I always find it fascinating how ink spread backgrounds, which you've really no control over, can lead to ideas as to how to build up a composition and where the light's going to be, and really they take on a life of their own. Well, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the project and you will have a go yourself and use some of the techniques if you found them useful. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Hit the notification bell, the like button, leave me a comment, share the video. All of that is so important to the channel and I so appreciate you doing that. Also, please consider becoming a member. I have a growing crafty community and we're having great fun together. Check out the links below for more details. Also my shop where my artwork is for sale and I have curated art supplies, etc. So until next week, take very good care of yourselves and of course, above all, get creating, be brave and enjoy the adventure.